Alright guys, so welcome back again to Lasfit. We got this 03 350Z that we're working on today. We're going to be replacing the actual stock HID bulbs to the new LA, actually it's going to be the LS D2s, okay? So we're going to convert this from HID to LED. This one still has the actual HID bulb in it, but as you can see it's so dim it's going out. Even at the light source it's producing, it's like nowhere near to where it was from factory. And over here it looks like they modified it to run a stock halogen bulb, or it could be an actual HID bulb with a lower temp, so maybe like a 4300, somewhere around there, 5000 maybe, compared to that blue one over there. So I'll be showing you how to take this apart, take out the actual headlight, and then show you how to do the conversion. On this vehicle, pretty much already skipped the actual removing of the bumper and stuff like that. I'll make sure to add a link to the top, one of the top corners, where you can click it and check how we took apart a previous one we worked on. It's pretty simple, but for now I'm just gonna go straight to the actual headlight and show you how to do that, okay? Alright guys, so we got the headlight off. And now we're gonna go straight to the actual wiring process and everything, okay? So one thing for sure right now I'm gonna let you know is so like that you don't think this is gonna happen with your personal headlights. This one, when I was working with it, I noticed that the actual lens is kind of loose. So you're gonna see it move. You hear that? So the actual lens doesn't sit flush. You can see a gap right there. So it's pointing down, okay? So pretty much it's pointing down to the ground. So once you see the actual preview of this light on the wall, don't think that's gonna be with all the headlights. This one specifically looks like either they added a new lens to this, custom fit it, and they didn't properly set it up, or with time or something they just came apart and that's why this is happening. But other than that, let's get to it. Pretty much you're gonna do, turn it around, aside. Your ballast is right here. It's a D2s. This is the actual connector. So if you ever hear us say you gotta bypass your ballast, pretty much all we're saying is disconnect this, press in, pop it out. And that's pretty much bypassing. You're just disconnecting the main harness from the vehicle that powers the actual headlight bulb, okay? So this is gonna be for the low beam. So we have here the actual D2s and the LS series. These are the actual harnesses that come with the kit, okay, to help you do this whole process. As you can see, one thing you probably noticed already is that the actual connectors on our harness is kind of wide, okay? So something like this won't fit into this directly. As you can see, those pins are way too small. The actual one, see? Those are like half the size of the ones that we provide, okay? So one thing you can do is either modify this. As you can see, there's like a slit in the middle already. You can cut it in half and it should work, which is something that I did over here, like that. But I don't recommend do this, okay? That was just for me to test and see if it'll work or not. But everything checked out. Don't do this, okay? So the proper way you're gonna be doing this is you're actually gonna go remove your cap. Just like that. It actually tells you which side to turn. It'll say open counterclockwise, clockwise to lock. Put that to the side. Your D2 bulb is right here, okay? One thing we have customers confusing is when we say bypass and then use the actual power and ground to power our bulb, is that they actually go here into the actual HID harness, okay? So they'll pull this off and they'll cut this in half. Don't do that, okay? This one you're gonna leave alone, don't touch that, just disconnect that. Your bulb is right there, it's held on by clips, compress those. Okay, down, just like that. Remove your bulb, okay, HID bulb. That's the one that was blue at the beginning of the video. Okay, so there you have it. Don't worry about these, just put it to the side for now. And then what you're gonna tap into are gonna be these two, okay? The one that was connected to the actual ballast. This is the one that gives you the power and ground to power up our bulb. So all you're gonna do is you can either move this more down, this little shield protector here, and tap into this. I don't recommend cutting unless you're gonna do a permanent replacement to just specifically LEDs or a specific halogen bulb that might fit in there. Don't jam H7s in there. They'll fit, but don't do it. That's not the proper socket for it. So what you're gonna be using, you can get these out of like your local auto parts. They're gonna be splice connectors, okay? Normally I like to use T-taps, but they didn't have any today. I hate when they do that. It's like you go in there and they don't have anything. But pretty much this will work, okay? You need 2 of these for each light. Okay, so we'll start with the one I already modified. All you're gonna do is cut off the ends, okay? So I already opened this one and just have to cut that one off. And then you're gonna pretty much use these, one each, to tap into the red and ground, okay? So I'll do that real quick because I need both my hands and then show you how it looks. All right, so we got them both done, okay? They've been spliced together, pretty much negative and negative, positive to positive. And that's how it's gonna look in there. Make sure you got a good contact, okay? One way to check is just tug on the wire. If it doesn't come off, then you got a good connection right there, okay? So once you got that and you see it's working, then just cover it up just like that. What I sometimes do is if I have some heat shrink, I tend to put it over it to cover it, or you can get electrical tape and just make sure you wrap them up. And then same thing for this, either put some heat shrink on it or just wrap it up with tape just to prevent moisture, water to go in here or any like dirt and stuff. And then at that point you're pretty much set. You got this connected like it's supposed to. Okay, you're gonna get an extra length, so it's kind of easier to work with. At this point, the only thing you're gonna have to do now is either 2 options. One, you run this by removing the actual ballast. You can run this through here, snake it, and it'll pretty much come out through here, okay? So the only thing though is that there is a gasket between this. So you might have to modify the gasket to be able to let the cable fit through there. Sometimes I've been able to get away with it, like it'll actually have enough room to where it'll compress over it and you'll still keep the lock seal. But other than that, you can just a little bit remove just for the cable to fit through there, and you should be able to compress this back in place and you'll be good. You don't want to remove this because then you'll have a big hole here, so don't remove it unless you got some kind of cover you're gonna put there. But other than that, it's pretty much it. You would just run through this here. It'll be like OEM, it'll be through here. What I would do is you have 2 options as well. Is you can either tuck this in here, tuck it in here somewhere, keep it away from metal so you don't ground out stuff because this is metal. Or I'll remove the ballast in a bit so I can put the cable through there. And pretty much it is plugged into this from the inside. So you can disconnect it from there and completely remove the cable. And just remember to take this one off. It's just a Phillips head screw right there. Okay, just remove that so you can just pull on it and remove both of them. And you'll just leave this one in there, okay? So that pretty much sums up everything you have to do for this to get it to work. And then after that, you would just do the same process to the other headlight and you're pretty much good to go. So I'll finish doing this, show you what I meant by removing the driver, the actual ballast, and disconnecting the cable, so if you want to go that route, and then how I snaked everything, okay? Okay, so this is how your ballast is going to look like after you remove everything. Okay, so like I was talking before, this is the actual HID bulb harness. That's the ground cable right here. That's the one that was bolted up to this little bolt right here, okay? So pretty much you're gonna do is, like I was saying, you can remove this. It's just like a pressed in clip. You can see right there, just press in. It's a little bit hard to do with your fingers, so I actually used a small flathead, okay? It helped me push it inwards and it just popped out really easy. And then you just make sure that when you're pulling this out remove that bolt first, okay? Remove that screw so you can free this up, and then you'll be able to just simply pull everything out through here, okay? So then you'll put that to the side, and then you'll have this that's being held on by 3 Phillips head screws, okay? Those are gonna be 1, 2, 3. And then once you're in here, like I was saying earlier, this is the minor modification you have to do to be able to get the new harness, which I've already connected, as I've shown before. I already snaked it in, so pretty much that's where your ballast used to go. Just put it through here, pass it in here. All right, so there you go. Okay, so once you got it through here, what you're going to do is get a little, either some wire cutter, something that can cut plastic easily. So I use this. Pretty much all I did was cut a little square cutout right there, where the cable is pretty much gonna, it's right there, see? So like that, it gives it enough clearance. This little edge here, that's where the actual gasket sits, okay? So I'll put it on right now real quick. So that's how the gasket will look like, okay? So I also cut a little bit here, and that would allow the actual cable to sit right there perfectly without having any issues. So it'll sit right in between there, just like that, okay? And at that point, pretty much all you're gonna do is just put back your ballast. So let me see if I can do that real quick with one hand. Just take your time, no rush. And if it didn't move, all the holes will line up, okay? And at this point, pretty much all you're gonna do is just tighten it and you're good to go, okay? So I'll do that now. I'll tighten it up, connect the bulb, or might as well show you right now how it looks. Pretty much, this is gonna be the D2. The way you install these is just like our H7s, if you ever installed one. You can remove the actual base tab, or base, I guess that's what we just call it, base. And the way it's gonna work is to remove it and install this piece first, because the clips won't go over the bulb itself. So it has a specific way it has to line up, so don't just throw it in there. Just like that, okay? That's gonna be the final position right there. And at that point, all you're gonna do is just lock this in place. Okay, so just like that. And pretty much at this point, just get your bolt, line it up. And it's locked right there, okay? So the bulb won't fall out anymore. So at this point, make sure you match the positive with negative, which as you can see, red and black. So just flip it over, just like that. So positive, positive, negative, negative. Put your cap. Okay, so it's locked. And light it up. Alright guys, so pretty much like I was explaining earlier, the actual cutoff line is right here. You can see it down there. It should be up here, but like I said, the actual lens inside of this one was installed from aftermarket, and it was not done properly, or with time it just started to fall apart. So that's why it's all pointing down, and I tried adjusting it, but that's as far as it'll go. But even then, where the light is hitting the reflector, which is static, it doesn't move, you can see that nice hot spot right there. That should be up here, but it's not. But just like that, you can see it's really good compared to the HID on the passenger side. Okay, so I'll be doing that now so I can show you both just real quick. Show you the comparison. Okay, so the Lasfit D2s on the driver's side and the stock HID bulb on the passenger. You can see how the lens is just falling, hanging there. There's our bulb. Just real, and then after showing you this, I'll show you what the ballast all tighten up. That's the HID bulb in there. Kind of see it. Quick. See, all the bolts are connected. Okay. So here's the final results, guys. That's both the Lasfit D2s installed. Got the 6K white. See the bulb right there. There's your light pattern, which is not really adequate for this vehicle because, like I said again, those custom lenses are not adjusted, and that's something you would have to actually open the headlight to get that fixed. But you can see down there, you can kind of see the cutoff line. But like I said again, they're just hanging there. They shouldn't be hanging. So I tried adjusting them, but it just wouldn't go any higher than that. So let me turn off the lights real quick. And there you go, guys. See your high beam real quick. That's the high beam, which is the stock H7s. Then back to the low beams. If we could just get that adjusted, or if it was put onto an actual vehicle with working headlights, you would have the cutoff lines about that height right there. That's where it should be. Okay, so pretty much that's it, guys. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to let us know. We are working on a special D2s that we're going to call the Pro D2s and the Pro D1s, which pretty much are going to be direct replacements, so you wouldn't have to do everything I did, where you have to like cut the gasket, cut a little bit of the edge inside the housing to allow the wires to go through. It'll be a direct replacement, like if it was an HID ballast, but it's actually going to be a driver. So you got a big heat sink that's going to help produce more light and also maintain cool, because it's going to be outside while everything else is within the actual headlight. So when we get those in and we start working with them, I'll make sure to post up a video with that. I believe we might have one already, but if we do, I'll look it up and link it on one of the corners so you guys can click on it so you get an idea of how it looks. But pretty much, this is the complete process. If you guys have any questions, concerns, feel free to let us know. Thank you for watching.